Have you ever stopped to wonder if the fish on your plate is really as healthy as you think it's something most of us don't question? Especially when it's a food we've been told is good for us for years. But the truth is, not all fish are created equal. And as we get older, the choices we make about what we eat can have a bigger impact on our health than we realise. Fish is often seen as a heart-healthy option, and, in many cases, it is. But there are certain types of fish that can actually do more harm than good, especially for people over the age of 50. These are the kinds of fish that might raise your cholesterol-triggered joint pain, or even affect your memory over time. You might not notice it right away, but over the years, these hidden effects can build up and lead to serious health problems. That's why today's video is so important. We're going to talk about 6 types of fish that older adults should think twice about before adding to their plate. You might be surprised by some of them, maybe even a little shocked, but the goal here isn't to scare you, it's to help you make better, safer choices for your body, because you deserve to enjoy your meals without worrying about what they're doing to your heart, your joints, or your brain. Now, before we dive in, I'd love to know, where are you tuning in from? Comment below and share your city. I always enjoy hearing from you. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more tips like these. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming up next. Fish number 1, squid. Now I know for some folks, squid is a bit of a delicacy. Maybe you've had it grilled, fried, or as part of a seafood platter at your favourite restaurant. It's tasty, it's chewy, and it feels like a treat. But if you're over 50, especially if you've got concerns about cholesterol or joint pain, squid might not be doing you any favours. Let's start with cholesterol. Just 100 grams of squid, about the size of a small portion, contains around 260 milligrams of cholesterol. That's quite a bit. As we age, our risk of heart disease naturally increases. And one of the major contributors is high levels of LDL, or what they call bad cholesterol. If that creeps up too high, it can lead to plaque buildup in the arteries, which increases the risk of heart attacks and strokes. You may not feel it happening, but the damage builds quietly over time. And that's not all. Squid is also pretty high in purines. Now, purines are natural substances found in many foods, but when your body breaks them down, they turn into uric acid. If you've ever had gout, you know how painful that buildup of uric acid can be. It usually starts in the big toe, but it doesn't stop there. Ankles, knees, fingers all can get swollen red and incredibly sore. For anyone already dealing with arthritis or joint discomfort, squid can trigger a painful flare-up that might last days or even weeks. Now, I'm not saying you can never have squid again, but moderation is the key. If you love it, try to enjoy it only on rare occasions. And when you do choose healthier ways to cook it, grilling or steaming instead of frying. Frying adds even more fat, which just makes the cholesterol issue worse. So while squid might look like a fancy protein-packed choice, the truth is, it carries some risks, especially for older adults. Our bodies don't bounce back the way they used to. Every bite we take either supports our health or makes it a little harder to stay well. Being mindful about foods like squid means protecting your heart, your joints, and your peace of mind. Fish number 2, escolar schoolfish. This one might not be as familiar as squid or tuna, but it's still found in some restaurants and seafood markets across the US. It's often promoted as a rich, buttery fish with a texture similar to tuna or swordfish. Some people say it tastes great, almost too good. And that's the problem, because what gives school fish that smooth, oily texture is exactly what makes it risky, especially for people. Over 50, school fish contain something called toxin, a type of wax ester that the human body simply can't digest properly. Now, that might not sound alarming at first, but the effects can be very unpleasant. After eating school fish, many people experience oily diarrhea, stomach cramps, nausea, and even dizziness. And let me tell you, that's not just a stomach bug that goes away overnight. These symptoms can last for hours or sometimes even days. This becomes especially serious for older adults. Why? Because when you're already dealing with age-related digestion changes or conditions like IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, or a sensitive gut, these effects hit much harder. What might be an uncomfortable afternoon for a younger person can turn into a real health challenge for someone older, leading to dehydration, fatigue, and weakness. And it doesn't stop at stomach troubles. One of the lesser-known dangers of schoolfish is the effect it can have on your balance. That same toxin that upsets your stomach can also cause dizziness or lightheadedness. For seniors, that's a big red flag. A sudden dizzy spell could easily lead to a fall, and as we all know, falls become a major concern as we age. A single slip could mean broken bones, hospital stays, or months of recovery. So the question becomes, is it worth the risk, honestly? No. Even if it tastes good, there are so many other fish options out there that don't carry these kinds of dangers. Experts actually recommend that older adults avoid schoolfish altogether, especially if you've ever had digestive problems, trouble with balance, or a weakened immune system. You've got enough on your plate. Don't let one fish add more stress to your health. Skip the escalar and go for something your body can handle better. You deserve to eat well and feels well too. Fish number 3, albacore tuna, white tuna. Alright, let's talk about the third one on the list, albacore tuna, also known as white tuna. Now this one might catch a few people off guard. Tuna is often seen as a healthy choice. It's high in protein, low in calories, and loaded with omega-3 fatty acids that are good for your heart. So what's the problem? The issue isn't with tuna in general. It's with albacore, the white variety, which has much higher levels of mercury compared to light tuna or other fish. Mercury is a toxic heavy metal, and unlike some things, your body can flush out easily. Mercury tends to stick around. It builds up in your tissues over time. That means the more often you eat high mercury fish like albacore tuna, the more it adds up in your system. For older adults, this is a big concern. As we age, our bodies don't clear out toxins as quickly or efficiently, and long-term exposure to mercury has been linked to serious health problems, especially when it comes to the brain and nervous system. We're talking about things like memory loss, difficulty concentrating, and even conditions like Alzheimer's or Parkinson's disease. These aren't just scare tactics. There are real studies that show how mercury can contribute to cognitive decline. Think about that for a second. A fish that seems healthy might actually be putting your brain at risk, especially if you're eating it more than once or twice a month. For people who've already noticed some changes in memory or mental clarity, this is something to take seriously. So what can you do? The good news is you don't have to cut out tuna completely. You just have to be smart about which kind you're choosing and how often you're eating it. Health experts suggest limiting albacore tuna to just one serving per month. That's right, once a month is the safe zone for most older adults. If you're still craving the flavour or the convenience, consider switching to light tuna, which has far less mercury. Or go for other low-mercury fish like salmon or sardines, which still give you heart-healthy omega-3s without the added risk. And here's a bonus tip. When you do eat tuna, try pairing it with foods high in selenium, like Brazil, nuts, sunflower seeds, or whole grains. Selenium has been shown to help protect the body from mercury's effects, offering a bit of natural support. So yes, albacore tuna might look like a healthy pick, but for older adults, it comes with a hidden cost. Your brain, your memory, and your peace of mind are worth protecting. Eating smart now can help you stay sharp and vibrant for years to come. Fish number 4. Sardines. At first glance, sardines might seem like a superfood. They're small, packed with protein, loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, and even provide a decent amount of calcium, especially when eaten with the bones. And it's true, sardines do have some benefits, especially when it comes to heart health. But for older adults, it's important to look a little closer, because depending on your health situation, sardines might not always be the best choice. One of the biggest concerns with sardines is that they are very high in purines. Now, as we mentioned earlier, with squid purines are compounds that break down into uric acid in the body. If that uric acid builds up too much, it can lead to gout attacks. And if you've ever experienced gout, you know how painful and debilitating it can be. It often starts with sharp pain in the big toe, but it can spread to other joints as well. For older adults, especially those with a history of gout or arthritis, sardines can be a real trigger. But that's not the only issue. Sardines, especially canned sardines, also contain a lot of sodium. In just 100 grams of canned sardines, you could be getting up to 500 milligrams of sodium or more. And for anyone dealing with high blood pressure, heart problems or kidney issues, that kind of salt intake can be harmful. Too much sodium causes the body to hold on to extra water, which can raise your blood pressure and put extra stress on your heart. This might not feel like a big deal in the short term, but over time, it adds up. Now, does this mean you should never eat sardines? Not necessarily. Like many foods, it comes down to how much and how often. If you enjoy sardines, especially for their omega-3 benefits, consider limiting your intake to around 150 grams per week. That's roughly 1 can or a small serving. And if possible, choose fresh sardines. Instead of canned fresh sardines, don't have all the added salt and preservatives that canned versions do, making them a safer option for your heart and overall health. Also, if you're managing high blood pressure or gout, it's a good idea to talk with your doctor or dietitian before making sardines a regular part of your diet. Sometimes, the foods we think are helping us might actually be causing hidden problems. It's always better to be sure. So while sardines have some great nutrients, they're not a free pass food. Pay attention to portion sizes, choose fresh when you can, and be mindful of any health conditions you're already managing. Fish number 5, tilapia. Now, tilapia is one of the most commonly eaten fish in the US, and it's easy to see why it's affordable. It's easy to cook, and it has a mild flavour that goes well with almost anything. For many older adults, it seems like a safe, convenient option. But here's the thing. Most people don't realise. Tilapia may not be as heart-friendly as it seems, especially if it's something you eat often. The biggest concern with tilapia is its fatty acid profile. While fish like salmon and mackerel are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, the ones that help reduce inflammation and support brain and heart health, tilapia is actually much higher in omega-6 fatty acids. Now, omega-6s aren't bad in small amounts, but when your diet has too many of them and not enough omega-3s, it creates an imbalance that can lead to chronic inflammation. Why does this matter for older adults? Because inflammation plays a big role in many age-related conditions: arthritis, heart disease, joint pain, and even cognitive decline. If you're already dealing with stiff joints, high blood pressure, or memory lapses, eating a lot of tilapia could be adding fuel to the fire without you even realizing it. You may think you're making a healthy choice, but over time that imbalance in fatty acids can make symptoms worse. Another thing to consider is how tilapia is farmed. Much of the tilapia in grocery stores is farmed overseas, often in crowded conditions with questionable water quality and poor feed that can affect the nutritional quality of the fish and, in some cases, expose you to unwanted chemicals or pollutants. It's not something you can see or taste, but it's something your body definitely notices over time. So what's the takeaway here? If you enjoy tilapia now, and then you don't have to give it up entirely, but try to limit it to about 150 grams a week. That's roughly 1 modest serving. And when you do eat, it makes sure to balance it out with other foods that are high in omega-3s. Better yet, replace some of your tilapia meals with fish like salmon trout or mackerel, which naturally have more anti-inflammatory benefits. It's all about balance. You don't have to eliminate tilapia, but you should definitely keep an eye on how often it's showing up on your plate. especially if you're managing any inflammatory conditions or cardiovascular concerns. A little awareness can go a long way in protecting your health as you age. Fish number 6, eel. Now, eel might not be something you eat every week, but for some people, it's considered a rare delicacy. You might find it in sushi at high-end restaurants, or even at special gatherings. It's rich, flavorful, and has a unique texture that many people enjoy. But here's the reality. Eel is one of the worst fish choices for older adults, especially when it comes to fat content and toxic buildup. Let's start with the fat. Eel is incredibly high in fat, about 25 grams of fat per 100 grams of fish. That's a lot for such a small portion. And while some fats are good for us, this much fat in one go can easily exceed what's recommended for daily intake, especially if you're trying to manage your weight, cholesterol, or heart health. For older adults, this is particularly important because as we age, our bodies become less efficient at processing fats. The liver and pancreas don't work as quickly or as well, which means excess fat can start to build up, leading to problems like fatty liver disease, high cholesterol, and even heart disease. But fat isn't the only concern. Eel is also known for accumulating toxins, specifically mercury, dioxins, and PCBs, polychlorinated biphenyls. These substances build up in the body over time and can be extremely difficult to get rid of. And unfortunately, they're especially dangerous for people over 50. Why? Because they've been linked to memory problems, cognitive decline, and, in some cases, neurological diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Think about it. You're doing your best to stay sharp, stay active, and take care of your body. And meanwhile, a seemingly small food choice like eel could be quietly working against you. These toxins don't show up overnight. They build up slowly, affecting your brain, your immune system, even your hormones. And the damage isn't always easy to reverse. That's why most health experts recommend that eel should be eaten very rarely, if at all. If you do choose to have it, treat it like a special indulgence, maybe once a month or even less. And when you cook, avoid frying that only adds more fat. Instead, go for grilling or baking, which can help reduce some of the unhealthy elements while still letting you enjoy the flavour. So while eel might seem like a rich, satisfying dish, the truth is, it's a high-risk food for older adults. With all the concerns around fat and toxins, it's best to limit your intake and focus on fish that nourish and protect your body rather than harm it. So now that we've gone through all 6 types of fish, I hope you're walking away with a clearer picture of how much your food choices really matter, especially as you get older. It's easy to think, oh, it's just a little fish, or I've been eating this for years. But the truth is, our bodies change with time. What we could handle in our 30s or 40s might not sit so well in our 60s, 70s, or beyond. That's not a weakness. It's just reality. And it means we need to be a little more mindful, a little more protective of the only body we've got. Now, this doesn't mean you need to give up all the fish you love. What it does mean is choose wisely. Limit the risky ones like eel squid, escalar, albacore, tuna sardines, and tilapia. Especially if you already have health concerns like high cholesterol, high blood pressure, joint pain, or memory issues. And instead try to lean into fish that support your health, like salmon, mackerel, trout, or even light tuna, now and then. These fish bring you the good stuff. Omega-3s, protein and nutrients without the harmful side effects. Every small change you make today can lead to better days tomorrow, less pain in your joints, better sleep, a clearer mind, a stronger heart. You're not just eating. You're investing in your health, your independence, and your peace of mind. So I'd love to know, what's one change you're planning to make? After watching this video, is there a fish you're going to cut back on, or maybe a healthier one, you're going to try? Instead, leave your answer in the comments below. Your experience might inspire someone else to take that step too. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a like, share it with someone you care about, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more simple, down-to-earth tips that make a real difference as we age. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live, and you deserve to live well.